In this video, I'm gonna show you how you can do the packet capture in the remote machine and display in your local machine using the TCP dump and the Wireshark in real time. So this is my setup in here, but obviously I'm doing this in my local network, as you can see in the IP address in here. But as long as you have IP connectivity between your local machine and the remote machine, this should work, meaning that this remote machine can be anywhere on the internet. So if I explain my remote machine first, so I'm gonna SSH into this remote machine, and basically this is a Linux Mint 20, and it has two IP addresses. So it has a Ethernet 0 interface in here, so that's a 172 IP address in here, and there is another interface 10.10.10.x IP address interface, which is a WLAN 0 interface. So what I'm gonna do in this demo is I'm gonna capture the packet on this 10.10.10.x interface and display that packet capture in real time in the Wireshark in this local laptop. So the command that I'm gonna use is this command. So before I execute this command, if I explain this command a little bit, so basically I'm SSHing into this remote machine and executing this command. So this means that you have a privilege to run the TCP dump on this remote machine. And I'm running TCP dump on the wireless LAN 0 interface, this interface, and -U option is basically no buffering. As soon as the packet is available, just flash out and print. -W is write option. So basically I'm writing the packet captures to the standard out, and this is a filtering option to filter out SSH traffic. So depending on the interface that you are capturing the packet, you may or you may not want this option. So since we are capturing the packet on this interface, so actually we don't need this the filtering option, but just in case if you need, I just left it in here because it doesn't really hurt our demo. But if you are doing the packet capture on this interface, maybe you want to filter out all the SSH traffic, because all the traffic that you are capturing will be carried through the SSH tunnel, right? So once packet capture is available, then I'm feeding that packet traffic to the Wireshark using this command. So -K option is just a display as soon as the packet capture is available, and the -I option is again the interface option, and the dash is a standard input. So once I execute this command, what is gonna happen is so Wireshark starts, but it is not displaying anything, and in the background it is asking me to enter the SSH password. So if you don't want this one, if you want Wireshark to display the packet capture immediately, then what you can do is you can set up the key-based SSH key-based authentication, the private key, public key-based authentication. In that case, you don't have to authenticate yourself. Authentication is happening automatically through the key-based authentication system. So it is going to display the packet capture immediately in the Wireshark, but in my case, I don't have that setup, so I'm going to enter the password manual in here. And as you can see, so you see some traffic on this 10 dot interface in here, right? Just to prove that actually I'm capturing the packet on wireless 0 interface, I'm going to send some traffic to the gateway. So now you can see ICMP ping echo request, echo reply message, you can see here. So this proves that indeed actually we are capturing the packet in this interface, and the display the traffic and display the packet capture in the Wireshark in my local laptop in here. So this command might, this string might be useful for certain engineers, like the support engineers or the test engineers when they have to troubleshoot some problem in the remote machine. Actually, this is so useful, so that this functionality is actually built in Wireshark itself. I mean, you don't really have to use this command. So let me show you how you can do the same thing in the Wireshark. So I'm gonna stop the Wireshark. I'm gonna stop the packet capture. So I'm gonna start Wireshark manually like this. And so if you scroll down the interface options, then you will see, you know, this SSH remote capture option. If you don't see this option, then please upgrade your Wireshark to the latest version. Then you will see this option. So once you click in, so now it shows the window to configure remote packet capture options. So before this screen recording, actually I tested this feature. That is why you are seeing some configuration in here. So basically I'm doing exactly the same thing that I did from the command line through the Wireshark in here. So I'm using the same IP address, and this is SSH port. So I'm gonna enter the SSH credential, login credential in here. But if you have you know, public key, private key authentication set up, then you can enter the private key in here. And this is a capturing command that you want to execute in the remote machine. So this is the command that I executed from the command line, but you know, you can so this is basically the same command, and depending on your need, you may or you may not want this filtering option. So let me start and see what happens. Again, I'm gonna generate some traffic in here to the gateway to prove that, you know, I'm capturing the packet on the remote machine. As you can see, you see the IP, you know, ICMP echo request and the echo reply. So okay, this is how you can do the same thing through the Wireshark GUI program. So I'm gonna stop this one. So some people may ask, you know, how you can do the same thing in the Windows machine, because in the Mac OS X, which I'm using right now, and in the Linux machine there is a built-in SSH, you know, functionality, but Windows does not, right? So how you can do the same thing in the Windows machine from the command line? Obviously, you can do the same thing in the Windows machine through the Wireshark, but you know, for whatever reason, if you want to do the same thing in the Windows machine from the command line, like for the automation, you mean the automating Wireshark GUI program is not that easy, right? So for that kind of a reason, if you want to do the same thing in the Windows machine, what you can do is you can use a plink.exe program. So this is my Windows machine. So I guess many people are familiar with PuTTY program. So PuTTY is a Windows SSH program, but when you install the PuTTY, actually it is installing, you know, this plink.exe program as well. So I think under the hood what is happening is when you SSH, under the hood actually it is using, you know, plink program to SSH. That's what I think is happening. So so using the plink program, you can do exactly the same thing, and so you can download a 32-bit or 64-bit plink program depending on your CPU architecture. So I already did it, and this is the program that I downloaded already, and so I put that command, exactly the same command, in this batch file. So this is a, you know, batch file just to execute automatically. So this is just a command, so you can just ignore this one. But basically, I'm doing the exactly same thing that I did in my Mac OS X machine here. So I'm gonna double click this, and then let's see what happens. So here p-link p-link program actually automatically it SSH into the remote machine. You don't really have to enter the password in here, and that it it executes the TCP dump command. And as you can see, as soon as I double click that batch file, it started capturing the package on that interface. So I'm gonna send some traffic like before to prove that actually I'm capturing the packet on that remote machine interface. Okay, so as you can see, you see the ICMP echo request and then as echo response. So this is how you can do the same thing in the Windows machine from the command line. I hope this video is useful for some people, and thanks for watching this video. Bye.